Hey guys.
How's it going, David?
I'm good, Matt Swift. How are you? It's been a while.
No. You got married?
I am officially married now compared to last time I was on the show.
That's right. In between episodes, you got married. So congrats to
Thank
David.
you.
Yeah.
It's a surreal feeling. I fidget with the ring now nonstop because that's my crutch. But it's a great feeling. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we have a special guest here with us tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask when I come in, do I just introduce myself or, hi everyone, I'm Russell, in case you can't figure that out. And I also still fidget with it all the time. It never stops.
No, it never does. So
no.
And why are you on the episode?
Because I was told to give more updates on my animals, and I guess we were doing something with MLS end of year.
That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think it was something about that, but mostly just the animal updates.
That's important.
That's usually what I'm here for.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to the latest episode of the Mint City Soccer Show. And as you just heard, we've got Rusty, as Corey likes to say, but Russell Varner here. Cheers. Thank you. And, of course, we have the ever-loving and the host with the most, Matt Swift here, hosting us at his household in Huntersville, North Carolina.
Welcome back to my house.
Yeah, it's great. And we're trying something new tonight. We don't know if it'll ever make the air or not. But we are video recording this to go on YouTube, so if you never see this video, you know it was terrible. So we are trying something new, and I hope to move the camera super close to Matt Swift's face and make him super uncomfortable, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this, but we'll go with it.
Thank you for hosting us, Matt. Our goal tonight is to make this as uncomfortable as possible for you.
They are ready. We're good.
Perfect.
Well, so just in case you have been living under a rock, I worked yesterday. Did you work yesterday, Matt Swift?
Barely.
How about you, Russell?
I worked. I wasn't productive, but I worked.
Yeah.
Well, did something happen yesterday?
I think something big happened yesterday.
There was Thursday night football.
That
happened.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that was pretty big because I think the Falcons threw 4 interceptions with 3 different quarterbacks in a matter of 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so
that happened, but I feel like there was something bigger. There was something else.
I don't know what it was though. I was on my phone all day. I didn't do a lot of work, but I can't remember what took me away from not doing work.
Man, this short-term amnesia we have is pretty bad.
Well, I want to give you guys a hint. It involves what we're here for. So Charlotte FC.
Okay.
And so they had actually a plethora of announcements yesterday, but we'll start with the biggest one.
Oh, give us the plethora, please.
I said it correctly, just so you know. I got the look, and everyone was surprised that I said that. But yesterday, the team announced our inaugural home match.
Woo!
I know. I was going to say, it's actually pretty exciting, man.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
My favorite part is that I didn't think I could get any more hype about the first match. And then they announced the opponent.
Oh. And so who are we playing?
The Los Angeles Galaxy.
Or Carson Galaxy.
Or Carson.
Yeah, it's fine.
Depending on who you want to annoy.
Yeah. So for those who happen to be living under a rock and have not been listening to this podcast or following Charlotte FC since 2019.
First, how dare you not?
Right. How dare you not listen to this show?
Yeah.
But so the team announced our inaugural home match. So a couple key call-outs there. They're actually not playing the home game first.
Correct.
So it sounds like that didn't officially say that, but the fact that March 5th is the inaugural home match and it's at home.
I'm about to say, you can put 2 and 2 together. We're all smart people here.
I'm reading the tea leaves there that the first game is not going to be at home. So second game of the year will be our inaugural home match at Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina. Saturday at 8 p.m., which is a pretty big primetime spot, I think. It's going to be...
Absolutely.
I would be surprised if it is not nationally broadcast in some way, shape, or form. Sure. I know MLS has all their various ways of broadcasting, be it on ESPN or ABC or...
ESPN Plus.
Or when they do the Univision games that they also stream on Twitter. Mm-hmm. But I would be shocked if we are not in some way, shape, or form nationally televised, which pretty cool for a first game.
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but somebody mentioned this earlier in the chat, and I didn't realize that there's 2 other things going on in Charlotte that night. Which
darn whoever brought that on.
I know. I think Alex, who is also an LA Galaxy fan, by the way.
It all comes full circle.
It does. But he said that it's actually Coach K's last regular season game. For Duke,
in the Duke Carolina game.
I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, definitely I'm not going to be able to say that. So Coach K. Coach K's last regular season game, which is going to be a pretty big deal for a lot of people here in the Carolinas.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
But yeah, to me, I don't really.
I mean,
It's fine.
yeah.
And there's also a Hornets home game, but to me,
both of those could take away from attendance, but
it could.
I think we're going to be okay.
yeah.
I think if anything, it just adds to the sports excitement of that day. Like, Charlotte is going to be lit. God, I feel so lame for saying
Charlotte.
that. But yeah, we got to lead into Charlotte now.
Oh man, I really just leaned in and said Charlotte. So,
Yep. Can we please move on? I'm embarrassed by myself.
but it's pretty big news. So, like I said, it's March 5th, Saturday, 8 p.m. on a Saturday. Charlotte FC's inaugural home match is against LA Galaxy. And the cool news from yesterday as well is that they opened up the upper deck.
That's right.
To sell for this game. And I think I know it's because they want to have the largest attended inaugural home match or opening day match for an MLS team in history.
And I think we should, just for a second, for people who don't truly understand just how big getting the Galaxy is, you're basically playing your first home game against the most successful franchise in MLS history.
Right.
You're more or less taking on the Yankees of MLS.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say, at least for myself, I have had multiple friends who have literally never once in my life spoken to me about soccer, even though they know that I'm a soccer guy. And they're asking me if I can help them up with a hookup for tickets for that game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the hype is real for this. Like, it's not an understatement to repeatedly say over and over again, this is a big deal, because this is a big freaking deal.
And they opened up that upper deck because of how big of a deal they wanted to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And they listened to fan feedback and they made it super affordable to be up there. Do you know what the prices were, Matt, for
I think it
that?
was like is it 15?
Starting at
$15?
$15, I believe.
I think the most expensive was $35, and that was for like the first 5 rows at midfield in the upper deck. But then the rest were like $15 to $25. And I think, like, that's the team listening to feedback from everybody. It was like, hey, you've got to have affordable tickets, but then also, too, like, open it up, the people will come. So, like, just,
Yeah, and the team has said before, Nick Kelly has said before, maybe during the regular season when we're, 16, 17 games in, maybe the upper level won't be always open, but for big games like the home opener, they're going to open it up, probably against, Atlanta United, probably open it up, and who knows, if we are doing well, then they'll open it up whenever they can. But Bank of America Stadium is a massive stadium. So if we pack it out, that's 74.
So it's 74,500 something.
Yeah.
So I looked it up last night because I was bored.
Yeah.
And
you knew that off the top of your head.
I did.
Obviously.
I did. Of all things, I can't pronounce certain words, but I know stadium capacity, just like that.
So if we get anywhere near that, I think it's super impressive. Now I know we're probably going to try to shoot for the record, and I totally get that. And because there's a team to the south of us that has that record, so it'd be nice to get that away from them.
So it's interesting you said that, because I was Googling that last night, and so they have the highest attendance for an MLS match, but that's including playoff. So when they were playing in the playoffs, they're at Mercedes-Benz,
Sure,
and it was like 75,000 or 73,000, whatever it is. But if you looked at the wording yesterday, it's the most attended home opener for a new team, which Atlanta still has the record for, but it's only 55,000. So
there you go.
We could totally blow that out of the water in Bank of America, because I think Atlanta United was playing at Georgia Tech or something like that during that time.
Their first couple games were at Georgia Tech.
Bobby Dodd or whatever it's called.
It's Georgia Tech. Who cares?
Exactly.
Sorry, Yellow Jacket fans. But
I'm not.
All two of you.
Running that option offense. But but no, it's a pretty big deal. I'm super excited about it. I had, like you were saying, Russell, like I had friends who are casual soccer fans reach out and was like, hey man, like LA Galaxy's a pretty big team, right? They're pretty good. That's the team that Beckham played for. I was like, yeah, you know a little bit about soccer. Come join us. I'll be in the supporters section, but buy tickets and either join us there or go upper deck for $15.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask Russell what it means to you about this game, because we both have liked LA Galaxy, but what is it to you? And how's that going to feel? Us playing against kind of I guess your favorite team or your second favorite team.
Yeah,
now?
second favorite team. It's like I said to you, we have a Slack message between all of us. Spoiler alert, and just go a little behind the curtains. I messaged these guys exactly this. My reactions when I saw the news was I laughed, said this is awesome, and of course it had to be them.
Yeah.
Just because, and I think someone else brought this up in Slack, it's I have to make a clean break, so to speak, from my LA Galaxy fandom, which I've kind of already started doing.
Yep.
I think I've mentioned before I was born in Los Angeles, so I grew up a Dodgers fan. I grew up a Lakers fan, and then when I moved out here to Charlotte, like I still kept a little bit of that Lakers fandom, but like first and foremost, I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan. Mm-hmm. So it's going to kind of be the same way where like I'm used to hearing all the beat LA chants. I'm used to hearing Carson Galaxy and all that, and like I won't take part in those comments or chants come game day, like if we're playing the Lakers or when we're playing the Galaxy, but I'm not going to actively be angry about it. Like it's just going to be a thing. Like I will cheer for them 364 other days of the year, but when they're playing Charlotte FC, when you're playing Charlotte Hornets, like no, I wish nothing but the worst for you.
That's such a weird feeling because like I was born in Kernersville. I've lived here my whole life. I don't know anything but Charlotte sports teams. Mm. So like Hornets, Panthers came. Now, granted, I'll take that back. Washington football team was like my childhood team for a while. Yeah. But I was like 3 years old, like 80 and 88, 89, 90. Like I don't remember that stuff. Yeah. But like that's all I know is Charlotte teams. I can't imagine moving somewhere and being like Charlotte FC is my team, and then they get a soccer team and being like, oh, now I kind of want to cheer for the local team because I've been here for so long. I can't imagine what that feels like because you know.
So, well, if for people who haven't listened to other episodes, I started following LA Galaxy the first year they started playing because I was a fan of Kobe Jones and Jorge Campos, like during the World Cup and everything like that. And they happened to be on the same team. They happened to be on LA Galaxy's team. I was like, okay. MLS had just started. I was like, okay, well, this will be my team. They have two of my favorite players, and it just kind of morphed from there. And then they got David Beckham, and I'm a big David Beckham fan. I'm like, okay, well, this is weird. All my favorite players are just going to be on this team, and Landon Donovan. So it just happened to be that's what it was. And like, I'm not one of those people that love. I hate the Yankees. I hate the Patriots. I hate people that love like these bandwagons. So there's a little bit of me that's like, thank God I can get away from that a little bit. Yeah, but it is very kind of odd and strange that was my first team, and now my new home team is going to be playing them, and it's just a cool like little special moment for me. And I wanted to say on the podcast, like I hope everybody will, as these things are coming out and we have these first, that everybody will slow down a little bit and just enjoy these like little moments that we're going to be having, because it can it could get out of speed up, and everybody's going to be excited. So I just hope everybody can take it all in and enjoy all the little things that's going to be happening, because it's going to be a first for a lot of us. I know some people maybe have moved from out of town, like they already had a team, maybe they've already gone through this, but for me personally, I've never gone through this, and it's it's pretty amazing. So I'm trying to enjoy every second of it.
Yeah, and like this will be my first MLS match. It's my first MLS team, and like it's less than 100 days away. 100 days away. It's going to go by so fast.
That's crazy.
And like we got all this work to do from supporter group stuff, but I want to take it in. Be like, I really want to see this special moment and capture it somehow.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So I saw a comment, and I don't know if Preston Chandler listens to the podcast or not.
Of course he does. What do you mean?
Hi if you're watching.
I saw something that he said on Twitter, and I copied it and put it in my notes here because I wanted to say it. He says, his tweet was, "I think fans are so excited because we are finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Ironically, it's just the beginning." And I thought that was pretty... That's spot good. On.
Pretty good. Pretty deep there, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I feel exactly right, because we had to postpone a year, and it just felt like we lost steam, and it was taking forever. But
it didn't feel like we lost steam. We totally lost steam.
Yeah,
we definitely did. Yeah.
But it's been a long 2 years, but here we are. It's tangible. We know who we're going to be playing, at least the second game. We know who the home, our home game is going to be against. So it's starting to get real. We're starting to have more events. More people are coming out and getting involved. It's pretty special.
And it's only going to snowball from here.
Right.
Because there are still the vast majority of players that need to be announced. There's the freaking jerseys and the uniforms that still need to be announced. There's the rest of the schedule that needs to be announced. There's going to be the preseason matches that are going to be in Clemson. And as you said, a ton of other firsts. Like we're going to go from having the entire, I think this was this past summer, where they officially announced the team name, and then there was nothing, just dead silence, and we're all talking about how big a missed opportunity that is. We're going to go from that to literally the exact opposite, where it's going to be almost an overload of news, where people might actually get overwhelmed.
So it's funny you say that. So I'm going to touch on the rest of the news that was announced yesterday.
All right, and there is more news.
But before we do that, I'm going to kind of put you guys on the spot.
Okay.
So because you guys are both, I'm going to say, recovering LA Galaxy fans.
Accurate.
So what do you think the prediction's going to be for the game? Like, I'll go with you first, Swift. Like,
Okay.
What do you think the game's going to be, the score? What do you see it? What do you see happening?
Okay. So,
And we will totally not pull this back up after it happens.
We will totally not old takes expose us later.
Chris, sorry.
so LA Galaxy is going to score first.
Oh, I already don't like this. Can we just go ahead and cut this episode?
So LA Galaxy is going to score first. They'll score kind of early. And then we're going to pull one back right before halftime. And then we're going to score the second one and around the 60th or 70th minute, and we'll win.
Okay.
You've put way more thought into
So
this.
if they score when we score a second goal in that scenario, are they scoring towards the supporters section, or are they scoring on the other side?
Oh, my God. How specific do you need me to be?
I just want to know how happy I'm going to be is what I want to know. So
you
you got a 50-50
Sure.
chance.
I mean,
which
yeah,
one?
50-50.
true.
Yeah, they're going to be coming towards us.
Yes. Okay, good.
Game
There
winner.
we go.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure some of our supporters will probably jump on the field. So
there you go.
security
Great.
should probably
do
get ready. Maybe we should have some bail money for our folks.
If you got any lawyers listening to the show, we can get you on speed dial here soon. So okay, so 2-1.
2-1.
With the game winner 60 minutes left.
That's right.
Or 60 minutes into the game. Sorry. So all right, Russell, what about you?
I'm going to guess there's going to be goals galore.
Okay.
I agree. I actually think I could see the Galaxy scoring first. I'll even go one step further, and I say it'll be Chicharito scoring the goal.
Gross.
Giving us all a moment where we'll all boo him, and he'll just bask in the glory of us all booing him. But I think the Galaxy will end up losing. Yeah. So I was about to say I think Charlotte's going to win, but then Galaxy came out of my mouth, and I was like, "Wait, whoa, stop yourself!" I think it's going to be a 3-2 Charlotte win. I think it's going to be a goal fest because I don't think the Galaxy's defense is going to be fixed. I think for Charlotte FC, it's going to be a lot of nerves about the first home game and all that, and I can just see it being kind of one of those just madness games where all this crazy stuff happens. And so that's going to be my prediction if you're going to throw me on the spot like this.
So Brant, Christian, Adam, if you're listening, do not let them score 2 goals, just so you know. So.
Yes, please prove me wrong. Make me look like an idiot. I would love to be old takes exposed on this.
Yes, that'd be great. So.
The truth of the matter, and I definitely want to get your prediction, David, but
Yeah,
the truth
I
of the
feel like
matter
we
is,
have to.
even if it's 0-0, it's going to be an amazing game. So,
Also
I mean,
true.
But like, all right, so David,
Not easy.
You
is
ask
it?
us.
Not
man.
so easy.
So
is it?
I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say it's a 1-0 win from Charlotte. So
Okay.
That's a win. I'll take it.
So reason I say that, but I'm kind of torn because I do kind of agree with you, Russell. Is that like there's gonna be a lot of nerves. First game of the season, probably not too many preseason matches or practices beforehand for Charlotte. So I do feel there's gonna be some nerves and rustiness there. Get it? Russell? Yeah. So,
that's what you did there.
I'm gonna selfishly say 1-0, and I'm gonna go a step further. I'm gonna tell you guys who's gonna score.
Who's going to score?
It's gonna be Christian Fuchs
Oh, okay.
off a corner.
I was really hoping you were just going to say some random name of a guy we haven't signed yet. So it just had to be.
throw a name out there.
Are we
So-
talking header, foot? What?
Oh man! All right, so I'm gonna pull this all up. I'm gonna say foot,
Okay.
Left or right?
left foot, because it's gonna be a corner. You guys really make me dig into a hole here.
I mean, you did with
right
us.
corner, opposite side of the supporter section. Christian's gonna come out from the back side and he's gonna kick it in the goal.
Well, the great thing about this is all recorded. It's going to be documented. We'll be able to see who's the
Let me
closest.
tell you, if I get this right, I need to go play the lottery the next day because I will literally.
You'll need to get a tattoo of the goal
Oh my
on your
God.
side.
Oh,
I'm sure the wife will love this.
You should get.
She doesn't listen to this, so it's fine. I'll go ahead and say that.
Fuchs' face.
I will not get his face. Love him, but I will not do that. I will go get a Charlotte FC tattoo if they win 1-0, and it's off a corner from Christian with his foot, not his head or body.
You could put the date and then the minute scored.
Maybe 3-5-22, and then do something like that. Minted 3. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So
we'll have some ideas for you.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Great. I just dug myself into a hole on audio. So it's a pretty good prediction, y'all. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Less than 100 days away. Got a lot of work to do, but
yeah.
So do you mind if I go over the rest of the news from yesterday?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting there's other news, but yes.
It's really not too much. I mean, but again, we were all super busy yesterday with our day jobs and totally weren't paying attention to this all day. But so obviously home match is the big news. So first inaugural home match. If you actually go on the Charlotte FC website, they have a pretty cool breakdown of everything that they announced yesterday. So for those who are super into this kind of stuff, actually on the 12th, a half-day trade window opens up where the team can actually make trades.
MLS rules, baby.
It's the fun stuff. And then on the 14th is the expansion draft, which I'm sure we'll talk here very soon about.
Still waiting for my invite.
Still waiting for
Thomas
to let Matt Swift make the initial pick. So that's happening on the 14th. They announced yesterday it's actually going to be streamed live.
That's cool.
So like we can watch it live, get initial reactions from MAR at the stadium, all that fun stuff.
If I can't do the pick, I guess I'll watch the feed. That's fine.
I think that's a good prediction right there. That's
you can live stream your reaction to it, and that's almost as good as naming the actual pick.
That's what you need to do is you need to record yourself making the pick after you find out what the pick is, then release that on social media and say, I announced it.
I think that's a great idea.
So it's our next episode. So on the 15th, end of year waivers happen and free agency opens up. So right after that expansion draft, the next day they can literally start to fill the rest of that roster that they need to do and fill them with free agents. And then, of course, they talk about the 17th and the 23rd with re-entry process, which I'm not going to even act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. Because
don't bother trying to learn. It is so confusing. But you literally need to take like a college master's levels course to understand all the rules.
We gotta bring Bobby back on.
Yeah. And that's before you even get into all the roster things that go into MLS. Just no, it's not worth it.
So, but then obviously between all that, they're going to release the rest of the schedule somewhere between that time frame. And something maybe will happen with the kit. We don't know. Maybe yes, no, maybe so. I don't know.
You tell me. I don't know.
I think December is the time frame. So December is going to be a super busy month.
Like I said, news is going to come fast and furious.
Yeah. Yep. So I just wanted to share that. So just in case you missed those news, like go on Twitter, follow us on MintCityCollective.com. Matt Swift shared a lot of the information, but then obviously the team was super active on social media. So Matt, you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, first of all, my cell phone battery died like halfway through the day. I was on it so much. But no, I wanted to take a little bit of time to shout out the social media team from Charlotte FC, putting out really just great content and really working hard, and just wanted really to shout out the whole staff, everybody, folks that have been on for a while, new folks that have come on board. It's been a big change and a big push, and I think they've been doing really, really great. I know because I do our social media that social media can be rough. So if you like what Charlotte FC's been doing, just let them know. That gives them a lot of energy, trust me, because unfortunately it's a lot of negative stuff. But so just some kind words sometimes can go a long way. So
one of the video editors for the team, Brittany, I'm gonna just give her a shout out from yesterday. So I actually sent her a text because she lives in the same building as I do.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
And so I sent her a text like, "Hey man, you guys are killing it!
Yeah,
like, just amazing job," and she just was super appreciative of that. And
it's hard work.
It's hard work, sometimes super underappreciated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Matt Swift knows nothing about that whatsoever. So definitely a big shout out. I do just want to shout everyone on the team, like people in the background, people who are doing the stuff, people who are doing stuff that we don't even know about.
Exactly.
It was well appreciated, and it was crazy to see my Twitter timeline or feed, whatever they want to call it now. was just Charlotte FC stuff.
Yeah, that was
all day.
cool.
That was super awesome.
I don't know if this was Brittany, but shout out to whoever came up with the idea for the tweet with the Spider-Man trailer and the little work they did on that.
I mean, Blizzard being like just launched magically.
I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but
Oh yeah, sorry, spoilers for people who haven't watched.
Yeah, who haven't seen the trailer and what may or may not have happened. But yeah, that was a work of art. Well done. And we love you, social media people. You do great. Don't listen to all the negativity.
Yeah, and then with all the events that went on yesterday, Nick was down in Columbia, and then Sean, our chief fan officer, he was in Lexington, North Carolina.
He was in Greensboro actually before that.
Oh yeah,
he was traveling all over. I feel.
And they had where were some of the other events?
They
Asheville?
had an event, Asheville at Witchy Weed.
Yeah.
They had
Greensboro.
So they were in Greensboro doing some new stuff
Raleigh.
there. No Raleigh.
They don't deserve it anyway.
I'm just trying. But then we obviously did the Charlotte event
At Hooligans.
At Hooligans.
Yeah, so I thought that's cool too, and again, I think everybody's been doing a good job of getting out in the community, getting out. I'm partial to Mint City Collective, but it's nice that the other spur groups are getting some love and they're having events and people from the team are showing up there. So it's just really great to see because everybody's friends, which is nice, and it's just like I said, just really nice to see. So big shout out to everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a great day. It flew by, and I'm selfishly, I can't wait to see when the other stuff happens with the kit launch. Man, let me tell you, inaugural launch. Well, kit launch. So inaugural match, everyone's like, yeah, heck yeah, that sounds great. Kit, I think we might see some backlash on some people because people just want to hate because they want to hate. But the next 30 days, I think, is going to be a lot of social media buzz with the team. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah.
But yeah, so fun day yesterday. We get to now transition into why we brought Mr. Rusty here.
The expert.
And we get to have some reflection today about, how did your predictions, how did your picks go from a MLS midseason review?
I did go back and listen to the...
I'm glad someone did because I remember some, but not all of my predictions.
So if you haven't yet, we did a kind of like an all-star break mid-season preview, where we, gave our surprises for the year so far, our predictions going forward. I went back and listened. You were right about a pretty big piece. I'll let you get to that in a little bit, but it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I feel like I should.
He goes, I'm smart as hell. Yeah,
I feel I should definitely humble brag on this because, look, my super amazing prediction was that the Colorado Rapids would do really well. Did I think they'd finish first in the West? No. But hey, I will pat myself on the back and take what I can get.
You might want to go back and listen to it. I want to say that you said that they would finish.
Yes, you did.
Did I actually?
Yes.
Yeah. So when
my mad insane self actually said that.
So just behind the scenes a little bit, y'all. When I first got here with Matt Swift, we got here before Russell, and I was like, I can't believe that Colorado was is the number one seed in the West, and Matt's like, oh yeah, I went back and listened to the episode.
I'm pretty sure you said that.
Yeah, I think you're gonna surprise a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I'm surprised myself.
Wait, we brought you on because you're an expert. Now you're telling me just throwing it out there.
Well,
all hot takes.
Yeah, one that. Two, I clearly have the memory span of a goldfish or an elephant. Take your pick. I mean,
no, that's pretty astute. That's
yeah.
Good.
Well, yes. We'll kind of kick it off there a little bit, and I'll just kind of throw some questions out to y'all to kind of reflect about how, how the season went and what you're looking forward to. So, I'll start with you, Russell, since you have the memory of a goldfish. Apparently,
yes.
So
let me see what I can say this time that I'll totally forget the next time that I come on.
So we'll kind of start with some surprises, right? So I'm going to give you the West Coast, the Western Conference a little bit, but what were some of your surprises for this season?
I have a tie for I think biggest surprise for me. Even though apparently I predicted it, I think Colorado finishing first in the East is a surprise to literally everyone. I think even most Colorado Rapids fans, because this is a side that I believe you would say is a definition of greater than the sum of its parts, because they don't have any true stars, but they're not necessarily weak at any one position either. There's no real weak link on them. And for them to be able to put together the season that they have is absolutely incredible.
I was gonna say, like, I think the only Colorado Rapids player I know is Sammy Vines, and he's not even there.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. I was saying, my friend and Alex Stefanescu and I, we had this same conversation. It was like, name anyone on the team, and it was like, Kellen Acosta, and it was like, all right, yeah, name someone else. Lalas Abubakar is one of their center backs, and I only know him because he played with the Charlotte Eagles when I was doing some social media work for them. And he has really amazing hair. That's literally the only reason I know. Oh, and Clint Irvin is the goalkeeper who I had a class with at Elon.
You've already like tripled the amount of knowledge I already have just off that one.
This is what I get for being a Super MLS nerd. But I think in addition to that, my equally big surprise is that the city of Los Angeles has 0 teams who made the MLS playoffs. I'm genuine.
Carson didn't make it?
Carson didn't make it, no. Though there is a little...
They barely missed out.
I would say there's a little controversy with that because Real Salt Lake won in the 93rd minute to make the playoffs. Yeah. MLS came out the next day and said that there should have been a handball call against RSL, which would have awarded a penalty to, I believe it was Portland? Maybe they were playing the last day.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, there should have been a penalty, and Real Salt Lake won 1-0, and if they didn't get the win, they don't
Sporting KC is who they play.
Sporting Kansas City, thank you. Yeah. Basically, there's an argument to be made that the Galaxy should be in and not Real Salt Lake. But
they actually finished on the same amount of points, 48. Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So there's your fun story. But you could also equally make the argument that the Galaxy should have never been in that position in the first place. I think I remember saying at the mid-season show that we had that the Galaxy's defensive issues hadn't been completely fixed, but their scoring had been carrying them. And then they just stopped scoring goals, and look what happened. And then LAFC, I'm still shocked beyond words that they did not make the playoffs. I think they started getting too cute for their own good, and I think they've continued to do so in firing Bob Bradley.
That was pretty surprising.
I think that's going to be a huge mistake for them. I think the decision makers are starting to think that they are a lot smarter than they may or may not be, and they are trying to prove it by making some, I will say, interesting decisions.
So I'll say I'm not the biggest Bradley fan, but it's still like surprising to see them fire him. I guess they're trying to get Will Ferrell, kicking and screaming coach, out there to coach them this next season. So I think that'll be the big upgrade for him.
The Galaxy fan in me would be very happy to see that. So please go ahead.
So no team from LA made the playoffs this year.
No team from California, I believe,
and no team from Texas made it either. So that's pretty surprising that
considering there are 6 teams in those states combined.
So let me tell you this: the teams in Texas, Dallas, Austin, and
Houston.
Dynamo.
Houston, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dallas finished 11th, Austin finished 12th, and Houston finished 13th.
That's the bottom 3 place standings in the West.
Everything's bigger in Texas, right?
Funny enough, we're talking about LA. LA finished 8th, LAFC finished 9th, San Jose finished 10th, and then you have the Dallas teams. So
that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very crazy. Yeah.
Wow. So
I love when a narrative comes together.
Yeah.
Man, if only that could happen again next year, because that'd be pretty amazing to see if that would be the same teams, except just flip-flop Texas and California and just make Texas a little bit higher. So it's pretty surprising. So what about any other surprises for you?
No, those are the 2 biggest ones for me.
All right, well, over to you, Mr. Swift. How about the Eastern Conference? So what are some of your surprises this year?
Well, I talked about this on the mid-season podcast. I mean, New England being as good as they were, that's kind of a surprise.
Yes.
Yep. Finished with 73 points, right?
League record.
Yep. Yeah, just insane. Lost only 5 games, goal differential of 24, plus 24. That's pretty impressive. And if it tells you anything, how good they were, or my other kind of surprise. So my other surprise is Nashville. Second season, Nashville lost 4 games all season long.
That's insane.
They still they finished 3rd but they were still 19 points behind, only losing 4 games. And that's because they drew 18 matches, which is insane to think about.
Is that a new record or no? I think they were close to it.
I'm looking to try and confirm.
I thought the record was 17.
Okay.
I believe so. They either came very close to the record if they did not set it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. You know, Philly finished actually Philly and Nashville finished both with 54 points. I think the tiebreaker was Philly beat them.
Yeah, but I want to say head to head.
Yeah,
is
head-to-head,
the
that's
first
why.
tiebreaker.
But you know, when it's all said and done, Nashville had a really good season. Only losing 4 games is very impressive. I tried to look back on their 18 draws, and you know, of course, this wasn't every single match, but it seems like the opposing team would score first, and then they would have to play catch up. Of course, that wasn't every game, but
a lot of fans talked a lot of crap about them on Twitter and Instagram and wherever else, because that was kind of their tactic, was they would either be totally okay to kind of like tie and park the bus, or get up early and park the bus, and it was just like that was it. That was their strategy.
Yeah.
It's the stereotypical old Italian way of playing. The catenaccio, I believe is what they called it. Sean, the chief fan officer, will yell at me if I'm wrong about that, so I apologize. But it's the idea of you play defensive soccer, you play more so not to lose than you do to win. You don't. Jose Mourinho, I think, in his early days, was very known for this kind of style as well, where you play very defensive, and then when you do attack, it's on the counter, and it's very quick. And it all depends on, do you want... There are 2 kinds of fans. There are the fans that would rather win ugly than lose pretty, and the ones that would rather lose pretty than win ugly. I personally am of the mindset where I care more about results, so I'd be okay winning ugly. Now, in an ideal world, we play beautiful, amazing soccer, and
It's the beautiful game. That's
you want the free flowingness and you want all the goals, but at the end of the day, as every sports fan knows, you play to win the game.
Yeah, that's right. Other than Nashville, I guess the only other surprise, kind of in a bad way, was Columbus. I think in the last podcast, I was like, hey, they'll be one of the teams that can come back to get into the playoff picture. They were 9th at the time. They finished 9th.
To go from winning an MLS Cup to not making the playoffs altogether is not great.
Yeah. So do you think that goes against Columbus at all from last year? Because it was a weird year with like COVID and 2020 and like a bridge season, tournament, that kind of stuff that helped them, or no?
I personally would not. I don't think it takes away from the accomplishments that they had.
Yeah, cool.
I think I said too that Orlando would fall down the pecking order because I think they were in the top 3 at the time, so they did fall a little bit.
Down to 6. Still made the playoffs, but definitely not top 3.
And then Atlanta, we did talk about Atlanta a little bit last time.
Yep.
They surged back and got their act together.
Too much talent on that team tonight.
That actually surprised me because they fire your coach midway through the season, and then they everyone was just like crapping on them because because it's Atlanta, it's okay, we can crap on Atlanta, and they didn't look good for a long time there, and then for them to actually make the playoffs was surprising.
Yeah,
they're starting to find a little bit of what made them Atlanta in the first place. They kind of lost their way with that, especially ever since the Frank DeBoer hiring.
Well, you don't piss off your best player and make him train by himself.
Yeah, and then there's also that. What could be better than pissing off the entire face of your franchise and arguably the MLS?
Yeah.
Not what I would have done, but again, I'm not an MLS coach. And then Frank DeBoer goes and falls up to become the Netherlands head coach.
How in the way? Yeah, how does that happen?
I want his luck. I want his luck to be able to fail at every place you've been at as a coach, but still be able to get amazing opportunities.
Upwards.
Yes, honest to God, this is the first. I've never truly understood the term falling upwards until I looked at Frank DeBoer's managerial career, and then it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It makes complete, total, perfect sense.
Well, while you feel for this space, I'm going to use my Bing search engine to pull up his manager.
Please do. It is a lovely story.
Are you going to ask Jeeves?
I'm going to ask Jeeves. I'm going to ask everybody here what his journey was.
I want to say Crystal Palace in England.
Yeah.
Inter Milan
And that lasted
Italy.
just a short. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, here you go.
Yeah. I'm about to say, bring it up. It is amazing. If you're on YouTube, go Google it for yourself so you can read while David's reading this.
Well, Bing asked Cortana for me, just so you know. So just to continue to rub salt in the wound that I am like behind the times. So he was an assistant at the Netherlands from 2008 2010.
I actually did not know that.
Ajax from 10 from
Wait,
2
hold on a second. What did you say?
Ajax.
What? No. Try one more time.
No, I'm not gonna do it again. I need you to fill it for me.
No.
Oh man.
What is the team called?
I'm glad we got one of these.
That is glorious. So, it's not a kitchen.
It's not the bad guy from the Deadpool movie.
All right. How does that J sound?
I don't know.
Here's a hint. It's Ajax.
Ajax. All right. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Ryan Bailey and everyone's just gonna continue to pull their hair out.
It's tradition.
Gosh,
there had to be one, man.
Oh God! And I
okay.
even
I'm
told
sorry.
myself I'm not gonna set myself up.
He did.
This. Okay.
I can confirm he said that pre-show.
Anyways, till 2016.
When was he at Ajax?
2010 to 2016. Oh, I'm becoming a character. 2016, Inter Milan for a year. 2017, Crystal Palace. Then for 2 years, Atlanta United. Now he's at the Netherlands. So, like, he literally just fell forward.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I should not have binged this dude.
Yeah, you did bring all this on yourself. You could have just easily transitioned us
I
into,
know.
all right, what are your playoff predictions? But
Yeah.
no, you led us down this road. This is all on you.
You did. And thank you for doing it.
If you want, I can take over the role of you real quick.
Oh, God, please do.
Hey, Russell. So with that being said, would you like to talk about your predictions for the Western Conference?
Yes.
Yes, David, I would love to. Thank you for that super smooth transition. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite and a walking contradiction because MLS is all about parity and madness and anything can happen, especially when it comes to the playoffs, especially when it comes to single leg ties like they have now throughout the playoffs. That being said, I have a hard time seeing any upsets on the Western Conference side.
Do you want me to go through each one and you tell me who's going to win?
You know what? I like that idea. Let's roll with that, and I'll even give a reason why for them.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, Colorado finishing first gets a first round bye. So
Correct.
they do not play anybody.
Yes.
Okay. So, the second seed, Seattle, is going to take on RSL, who barely got in.
Yes. So Seattle is going to win because Real Salt Lake barely got in. I won't go so far to say that, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Seattle is also one of the powerhouses in MLS and has been to the MLS Cup Finals, for the last 5 years or something absurd like that. This is a team that finished 1 point off of the top record in the Western Conference, despite the fact they did not have their best player for the majority of the season in Nico Lodero, despite the fact they did not have Jordan Morris, despite the fact that they were dealing with injuries all over the field. Spoiler, I expect them to make a big run. Okay. So yeah, they will beat Real Salt Lake.
All right, so that's the 2 and 7 seed pairing.
Yes.
Let's move to the 3 and 6. So Sporting KC and Vancouver, who I was a little surprised that got in, but
yeah, with the benefit of hindsight, I probably should have mentioned Vancouver as a surprise in the West, but hindsight is 2020.
I didn't think that they would get into the playoffs.
No, I definitely didn't. And you want to know why they got in the playoffs? Because of their amazing home record. 10 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws at home. The problem for them is they are not playing at home. They are playing on the road where they won just 2 games, lost 5, and drew 10. And they're playing at Sporting Kansas City, which, when I say Sporting Kansas City, you immediately think one of the best home field advantages.
Graham Zusi. Oh, no, what?
Correction, you think Graham Zusi, that magnificent beard, and then the home field advantage that they have at Children's Mercy Park.
Yeah.
This is another team that has a lot of firepower from top to bottom, and Peter Vermees as head coach, one of the best managers in MLS.
Okay.
Vancouver winning there might be the upset of the season.
But it won't happen, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I will say that. It will not happen, but if it did, it would be the upset of the season.
Okay. So that's the 3 and 6 seeds. And then we have 4 and 5. We have Portland and again, a little bit of a surprise for me that they finished this high in the playoffs, Minnesota.
Yep. Minnesota has been a great turnaround story ever since struggling the first few
Cincinnati
years.
came in and they're not the worst team.
Yeah, since Cincinnati took all the suckiness in Minnesota and just dragged it in for
Wooden
themselves.
spoon.
But Minnesota, again, it's going to go back to the home and road records. Minnesota won just 3 games on the road all year.
Yeah.
Portland, on the other hand, won 11 home games. Only New England won more home games than they did. And Portland, again, is a team that has been there before, has the experience, and they know what it takes to win in the playoffs. And Minnesota, for the most part, has not. They've won 1, maybe 2 playoff games in their MLS history. So, this is why I say I have a very hard time seeing upsets in the Western Conference in the early rounds. But this is MLS, which is known for just insanity happening.
Right.
But I just have a very hard time seeing it.
Okay. So let's move on to the semifinals then.
Yeah, I'll speed up. I'll go a little quicker through these.
That's all right. Yeah, no worries. So you're saying that Portland's going to beat Minnesota. So they would then meet Colorado Rapids.
Math should add up on that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
I do have the bracket pulled up in front of me. So
Well,
I'm tracking you, Matt.
it's good. Somebody should.
again, I think Colorado's D is just too good. And again, this is a team that is greater than some of its parts. To be able to finish first, I think they might. I don't want to say team of destiny, but they got something going right for them. So I would pick them to advance.
Colorado.
Colorado.
All right. Okay. Let's move down to the other end of the bracket. So you said that Sporting KC is going to take care of Vancouver. So that puts them in the semifinals. And then you're saying Seattle. So Seattle versus Sporting KC.
It'll be a great game to watch.
That's going to be a good game. Yeah.
That'll be an amazing game to watch.
Yeah.
I think Seattle will pull it out because they have more talent. And my big worry for Sporting Kansas City going down the road is Alan Pulido, their star striker, just had knee surgery last month. He was expected to be out 3 to 5 weeks, but the big question is he going to be healthy? How healthy is he actually going to be if he's good enough to play? There's a lot of questions surrounding that. When you're going up against a team like Seattle, you cannot have questions like that surrounding you.
Okay.
And then I'll just say my one upset in the Western Conference would be that I think Seattle makes the MLS Cup Finals again over Colorado.
Okay.
I think
that's I think.
But I'll say, and even that's not really much of an upset because again, this is a team that's been to the finals how many times in the couple recent years?
Yeah.
But they just have so much talent, and as great a job as Robin Fraser has done with the guys in Colorado, it's very difficult for me to see anyone taking down Seattle apart from perhaps the New England Revolution.
Okay. All right, so we got Seattle coming in from the West then.
Yes.
Interesting.
All right.
So no Colorado Cinderella story, even though they're number 1 seed.
Yep. I hitch my Colorado wagon only so far. So is this the part now where I go down the bracket and ask all of your Eastern Conference picks?
It is.
Sure. Let's do it.
Perfect. So the aforementioned New England Revolution obviously have the number 1 seed, so they get their pass.
Right.
So we'll start with the 2 seed and 7 seed. That's the Philadelphia Union against the New York Red Bulls, who I just want to put this out there real quick. Chris Ashley said would not make the playoffs, and he said that FC Cincinnati would. I love you, Chris, but it had to be brought up at least once. It had to be brought up at least once.
Yeah, I think this would be a pretty chippy affair. It usually is between these two. I do think Philly takes care of this one pretty easy, though.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
And now Nashville and Orlando, the 3 versus the 6.
So this one's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
Because of the regular season and the results there. And because Nashville ties a lot.
I hope you're going where I think you're going.
Can they finish it off? Do they go to penalties? Do they, so I have a hard time. At first I was like, oh, Nashville. But I was like, I don't know.
It's not. It is not as cut and dry as you would think.
Yeah. Orlando has kind of struggled at the end of the season, so I will say Nashville, but like if they end up lit, it won't shock me.
Yeah. So I'll just say real quick, I filled out my MLS bracket, like on their predictor thing on the website.
Yep.
I have Orlando winning.
Yeah, it's tough. It's almost 50-50.
It's the closest one, I think, out of all the early
games. I agree. I had a hard time with that one.
And then another one that I think will be very close, 4 seed NYCFC and 5 seed That City.
Yeah, I do think Atlanta wins.
Interesting.
That's who I have.
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick at all.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it, but, it's what it is.
You're dead to me now.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we're going to have Philadelphia and Nashville.
Right.
Who do you got out of there?
I got Philly beating. I have Philly beating whoever comes out of that next round. I think it's going to be Nashville, and they played head-to-head. I just think Philly can get past them.
Perfect. And then That City or New England?
New England.
No hesitation.
Nope.
Huh?
Love it. So then that leaves the Union and the Revolution.
New England. A lot of people, there is this thing, like you win the Supporters Shield, you're kicking butt all season long, then you get to the playoffs and you just falter. I don't think that's going to happen with New England. I think it's going to be their year. That's who I have going to the finals, and we'll talk about who we think is going to win the finals, but that's who I have.
Who won the Supporters Shield last year?
I think Philly did.
Philly did.
Yeah.
And then so how did they do last year in the playoffs?
That's a good
They
question.
didn't win it all.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can tell you that much.
But dude, like New England is just so good all across the field. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I have them going to the finals.
I mean, there is this. Over the last decade, only 2 times has the team that won the Supporter Shield won MLS Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
The 2011 LA Galaxy and the 2017 Toronto FC squad that won the treble. That's it.
Yeah.
So would you guys rather win the Supporters Shield next year, or would you rather win the MLS Cup next year? Because it doesn't seem like it translates.
1, I agree. 2, MLS Cup.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel the vast majority of Americans would say MLS Cup, unless your name is Johnny Wakefield.
I mean, but like when we're talking about New England scored 65 goals this season. The second to them is Colorado. No, I'm sorry. Sporting KC with 58.
They were a machine. And what's craziest about them is that Charles Heel, I don't know how to say his name, but he was out for the majority.
Ajax.
Yeah, exactly.
Charles Ajax.
But he was out for the majority for a good amount of the season.
Right,
Especially down the road. And they did not miss a beat without him. We love you, David. I wish y'all could see. His face is so red right now.
I'm dead to myself.
I get the spelling, but
pronunciation's hard.
It's fine.
But
I love it.
Right, where were we? Right, New England, very good. Did not miss a step without their star player, and there's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah.
Which is why I think I'll just kind of give a spoiler. I think that New England's going to win it all.
That's what I've got. Yeah.
I think they're just there's too much talent. They're too well coached, and when you have that much going your way, and we haven't even talked about Matt Turner. Remember, they have the arguably should be starting for the USMNT
Gold Cup
goalkeeper
winner, Matt Turner.
Right, you remember him?
Yeah, we're gonna. I think we're gonna have time to get in some U.S. men's national team here in just a little bit, and I have some strong feelings. I like Matt Turner, by the way.
I do too, actually.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I get what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab my popcorn real quick before this talk because I think it's going to be real good.
So we agree. New England. We both think New England's gonna win it all.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
So there's your crazy prediction. So both of y'all think New England's going to win it all.
I do.
Mr. Matt Turner, Gold Cup winner and future. Well, he already won the Supporter Shield and future MLS Cup winner.
I'm going to go see if I have some Ajax underneath the sink, and I think that should be the photo we use for...
We'll do it. We'll do it.
All right, so we're done with MLS playoffs. Hey, so one interesting tidbit though.
I love interesting tidbits.
Talking about like the our schedule, everything. Nashville's going to be moving to the West next season.
Right? Yes. I hate that.
And then they're coming back.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb. So dumb.
Yeah.
But Chicago's in the East, but Nashville's in the West.
Exactly. Yep.
Think about it. They're like, nah. Do you associate just? I mean, I'll just throw it. Not even talking about logistics or like teams.
Let me look.
If you say Eastern culture or Southern culture, like which one is more affiliated with it? Chicago or Nashville?
Well, obviously, when I think Chicago, I think of the warm Southern weather they have. So, duh.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's. I mean, if you look at it from like, I don't know. I was talking to somebody in Slack about it, and like, it's really not that far more west than like Nashville is. But that's if you're just looking at a straight line.
Yeah, if you're just looking up and down, culture-wise, and the bigger thing.
Give me a look. If this is another Ajax situation, am I like talking?
Like Chicago's definitely more west than Nashville.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, we're all in agreement on this.
Yeah. So Chicago is in the East this year, and then Nashville's going to the West.
Oh, I missed that argument.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, you're fine. That's why you're looking. You're like, David, what are you talking about? I'm like, no.
I mean, the NBA does the same thing.
Yeah.
Where you have the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference because reasons.
Well, I think they were. Well,
they were the Vancouver Grizzlies, but then
I know. Yeah.
Mainly, I like what Nashville has built there, and I feel like there could be a very good rivalry between us and them, and that is why I'm so disappointed to hear that they're going to be moving west, even if they're going to move back east immediately afterwards. Because
I have to walk something back real quick. So you said New England was your pick. Who was your pick? Was it New England? Or?
I did say New England on this.
Okay, so you're going with New England, both of you, because I'm pretty sure you said Seattle.
So here's what happened. I looked it up.
Okay.
In my MLS brackets online. I said Seattle.
Got it.
So I wasn't going to try and backtrack and then make myself choose one between this, because then I was going to try to go back and look like the prediction got either way. But hey, thanks for calling me out.
I'm sorry. Low key, I didn't really even catch it. He sent me a message while we're sitting at the table.
I sent a Slack message that we were going to talk about after the recording, but hey.
My bad.
It's all good.
David's a little hurt that we
my
made
feelings
fun
are hurt
of.
that there's some Ajax under the sink, and I need to pull that out.
I mean, look, I can make an argument either way. If I'm going to have to officially put one on record, I'm going to ignore everything I previously said and said Seattle for the supporter shield curse and everything. But I was going to try and just play it off and then just figure it out later. But,
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Now that that's out there for the world, please old takes expose me or whatever it is that you would like.
Well,
no. Do you guys think we will actually play Nashville next season?
I do.
Because we do play. Is it 8?
7 or 8? Oh,
yeah.
It's 7 now because the 8th. So LA Galaxy takes one spot.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
the non-conference
good,
games,
yeah,
right?
good call. Yeah.
So now we got 7 left.
You would think.
You would think it makes too much
If
sense.
MLS is smart, they would, but they make things so confusing and complicated already that
We'll go to Salt Lake, Vancouver, LA, Portland, Seattle.
But not Nashville.
But not Nashville. That makes too
No.
much
We
sense.
couldn't fit that one in.
That's too far away.
Let me ask you one question before we move to the next topic. If you could pick one away game next season that you want to go to, not LA.
That's not even who I would pick, honestly.
So who would it be? Russell, where would you want
I
to
think Portland.
go? Okay.
It'd either be Portland or Seattle for the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And those are the top 2 atmospheres, I think, in MLS.
Okay. Do you think we'll play either one of those?
I'll be stunned if we don't get at least one of them.
Yeah. David, what do you think?
I was going to say Portland, but just to be different, I'm going to say Austin.
Austin,
That's a good shout, too.
Austin was going to be mine. That's
just to see
I
something
like the
different.
city, and I want to see the stadium and just see what they're about.
And they weren't very good this year, so I think we'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
That is a good... My decision was not based on talent on the field.
No, but just based off like...
Yeah, if we're going to put that into...
Yeah.
If we're going to put that in consideration, you had a much better choice than I did.
But I definitely want to, like, selfishly, Austin's on my bucket list. I want to go check it out, check out the city, check out the food,
Same.
the culture.
Yeah.
So, like, selfishly, I just want to go do it just for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All right.
How about you? So Austin for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin for me. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I hope we play them.
Not DC United. You don't want to go to see your
really.
old boys home.
Ben Olsen. He's not there anymore, so
I know,
it's,
I know. It's not the same.
whatever.
It's not the same.
I mean, we can have Jay give us a tour of DC United whenever we want.
Jay, take us up there in a van.
Tell me about the old days, Jay.
All right.
Love you, Jay.
Do you guys want to pivot to the next topic?
I think my popcorn's ready. I would like to have some USMT talk, aka hear your USMT talk, and then I'll just chip in a thought or two at the end.
Do it.
Yeah. So, the U.S. men's national team just played 2 qualifying games. One at home, one away.
One great, one not as much.
Yeah. So they won the first game, 2-0 against
2-0.
Mexico. They played great.
They did.
Played with purpose. Played more direct. And then the second game in Jamaica, they did what they always do in second games away. They get away from what they do when they play people like Mexico.
Can I just say, who the hell schedules a game like that? I think it was Tuesday at like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
Welcome to CONCACAF, my friend.
That's pretty normal for CONCACAF.
Yeah. It's dumb.
I'm not saying it's great.
Welcome
but yeah,
to CONCACAF, the federation that did not have VAR at all leading up to this, but now says they're going to have VAR moving forward.
I want to come back to that.
Yeah,
So that was my only thing. Like, I remember I was working.
Yeah.
And I remember people were blowing up Slack over the game, and I'm like, wait a second. I thought the game's later tonight. I missed the game, so like I was so pissed because
I was about to say I only knew because I probably read in Slack someone mentioned that it was going to be an early kickoff. That's the only reason I had any idea.
Yeah. So I of course I was super elated with the win against Mexico.
Yeah, that shouldn't need to be said.
So and then we go down to Jamaica, and in the past, if you won your home games and got a draw here and there,
win at home, draw on the road,
you're good.
Yep,
you're good.
That was the cliche of the past.
But then that kind of bit us in the butt last World Cup cycle because we end up dropping some games at home.
And we had to go
and try to get a result on the road against, powerhouse Trinidad and Tobago and couldn't do it. So here we are again.
I went to so much therapy for this, and you're just bringing it right back up.
You're just keep eating your popcorn. It's fine.
It's not helping.
So we're in a pretty good position. However, people are like, let's not worry. We got to draw down in Jamaica. But here's the thing: we can't do that anymore. CONCACAF is getting too competitive. Look at Canada used to never be good. Let's just face it. Now they are. That's one more team, and we can only get 3 teams through qualifying. The 4th one has to go through a playoff. We can't afford to play bad against Jamaica. If you go down to Azteca and play Mexico and you get a draw, that's pretty fantastic.
Yep.
Or if you beat them, that's even better. You're probably expected to lose down there because that's typically what happens with everybody. But but when you play a team like Trinidad and Tobago, when you play Jamaica, we've got to start winning those games, period, because we don't have the room anymore to just on the road.
I'm only laughing because you said that everyone is saying that relax, it's a good result, we're in a good position. Yeah. I have seen the exact opposite reaction where everyone is panicking and is upset, and I am the one who says, hey, we are still only 1 point off of the top of the table. Granted, we're also 1 point off of being in 4th place.
And that's the scary piece.
It's not like we are in a bad position. And while Jamaica has not done well this cycle, getting a point in Jamaica is difficult.
Yeah.
That is not to say that the U.S. did not play well. They
should have lost that game.
I was going to say
they absolutely should have. They were great.
Yeah.
When Tim Weah scored the goal, and then Mikel Antonio had that wonder goal, and we never came back from it.
Yeah. So what bugs me about it is, one, we should have lost that game, hands down.
I don't think you'll have any arguments on that.
So we didn't play well, and the reason why we didn't play well is Greg Berhalter and his teams get away from what actually works. And this may not be popular. I hate, and this is probably why I don't like Michael Bradley that much anymore. I hate when players say, calm down, or the coach says, calm down on the field. U.S. plays the best when they are guns blazing, running up and down the field. America, like we're athletic, we're strong, we're fast. Now, on top of all of that, we actually have some technical ability. But when we sit there and we dick around with the ball, play it around the back, that doesn't get us anywhere. When we play more direct, fast, furious, that's when we're at our best. So we get away from that. We went down to Jamaica and then got away from that game, like how we played in against Mexico. And we didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, Berhalter's like, who should I take off the field? Tim Weah sounds like a good option. And Musa, he took off Musa too. To put on Acosta and Pulisic, which I was okay with who he put on the field. It's who he took off. I'm sitting there going, what is going on? I don't think Erison had a good game. I don't think Robinson had a good game.
You were also down McKinney, right? Because
McKinney and Miles Robinson were both out due
because
to
of cards, right?
Right.
And I mean, so there was some limitations there from that. So maybe he was trying something different. But like, I goes back to what you're saying is like, I feel like almost it's almost like he's tinkering with the roster and the lineups every single game, except for when we play Mexico. Then it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Interesting.
And so why does he not tinker with the lineup then?
Because he wants to win Mexico.
Okay, so what do you do when you play Mexico? What do you do with your players? Who do you put on the field?
Your best players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jamaica, you put in Buzio. I know people love Buzio. I think he's great. He, to me, is a Gold Cup squad player. For right now, eventually I think he'll get here. For me, that's not our best. That's not one of our best players.
I'm right there with you. Yeah.
And I get it. It's the second game, and sometimes we don't know what clubs say. Like, hey, you need to save player. We're going to release them, but they could play the first game, not the second one. Watch the minutes, that type of thing.
Do you think they did that to Turner? Going back to like Turner not playing the past two games?
I haven't even gotten started on the goalkeeper thing yet. Because let me tell you who I'm not a fan of.
We'll go back to that.
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead, Russell.
And
you go.
I just wanted to just chime in real quick because what I find interesting is that going into the Jamaica game, the one consistent I saw going in, and even in the post-game shows coming out, was that everyone actually agreed with the lineup change. And this was one of the few times that the only changes that Berhalter made were the ones that were forced. His hand was forced due to the card accumulation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it probably would have been McKinney instead of Buzio. It probably would have been Miles Robinson instead of Chris Richards. So that is my one interesting point. I will not argue most of the other points. Anthony Robinson did not have a good game.
He played horrible.
Buzio, I love him. I think he has a good chance to be something big for us, and this was a good opportunity for him to try to prove himself on the road. And he had a good shot. I remember I think it was a free kick or a curler that, like, you know, when you hold finesse in FIFA and you try to just hook it in. That's exactly what he tried. He just missed.
Yeah.
But other than that, he wasn't really noticeable.
Yeah, I didn't think he played well.
Yeah. So to avoid this going like first take and then us being for another like hour and a half talking about this, because this has already gone long enough as is.
Yeah.
My only question would be, who would you have put in instead?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Like, I would have been okay.
Get out of here with that logic, sir.
Sorry, I bring logic to situations where it shouldn't be brought. It's along with adorable foster kittens is what I'm known for.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you are limited and you are trying to do some type of rotation, because, you know, players do get tired, but like who Berhalter took off the field in that sub made absolutely no sense to me.
I do remember at the time thinking that way it was an interesting decision.
And so, but let's talk about the goalkeeper thing.
I would say, that's something.
Let me tell you who I think is overhyped. And that's Zach.
It's interesting.
That's
Is it
Zach
the backup
Steffen.
keeper of City? Is who you're saying?
That is Zach Steffen. I don't think he should be number one. He hasn't done anything that I have seen for him to be number one. Matt Turner, on the other hand, I think has played better. Now, you put him on paper, who's better? Maybe Zach. You know, he plays for quote Manchester City, but
Your arsenal is showing. Sir.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it just very, very true. But like that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. Like I thought Matt Turner played well in the Gold Cup.
I thought he got the starting job.
Yeah, and then like he's played well in the regular season for his club team. Like Zach was hurt, and then when he did play, he made these kind of like errors, and like I thought he could have saved some stuff. I don't know.
He was the lowest rated plaplayer.
Yeah, I don't think he has played well, and I don't know why.
Which I mean, you get scored on, you're gonna take a hit it, but still.
Sure. So I'll again play the contrarian in this. God, I hate that I'm going first take on this. The argument that I hear for Matt Turner against Zach Steffen is that Matt Turner is the better shot stopper, whereas Zach Steffen is the better ball mover, better playing with the ball at his feet, better passing. And just shout out to Total Soccer Show podcast for giving me such insights like that, which I started listening to before a good friend of the show, Ryan Bailey, joined it. Yes. So you should give them a listen because they give you actually good insight like that.
Oh, yeah, very good.
And
they don't mispronounce words like Ajax. So.
Not always. So I'm okay with Steffen starting the game against Jamaica because I thought they would need to play with the ball at their feet more. I'm more surprised that Steffen started the game against Mexico.
Yeah.
Because that seemed like the match.
It came out of nowhere.
That seemed like the match that you would need the more shot-stopping ability as opposed to playing with the ball at your feet.
But just like I guess like to me like and I hear you with that because with Turner like
this is me just trying to like defend the decisions. Hindsight's 20/20, so I'm trying very hard not to look at it with those lenses, but it's arguably very difficult not to.
Because I do like Turner, but one of the things that has stood out to me when Turner has played is that when the ball's at his feet, he gets a little skittish back there, and he does get a little waiting a little bit, half a second delay, that kind of thing. But like in my mind, like I don't want to be playing for my keeper anyways. Don't do that.
I agree, but that's the new style of soccer, that's, again, another topic that we could go another hour and a half on. We are already how long into this podcast?
I do want to talk about that a little bit because there are two teams that Charlotte FC is going to be my third one, of course. But so the U.S. men's national team and Arsenal drive me absolutely insane.
That is not a good 1-2 punch of teams.
Because they sometimes play the same. And what I mean is goalkeeper has the ball, plays it to the center back plays it to the Tyler Adams 6th position. Tyler Adams has his back to the goal. He passes it back to the center back. We sweep it around. We do this for 25 minutes. Nothing happens.
And then you win the possession game of saying I had 70% possession and my stats look good and we still lost 1-0.
Barcelona looked great doing that. How dare you, sir?
Well, the team they did the tiki-tack and they moved.
Yeah,
the difference difference is
I don't understand.
Tiki-tack is like
possession's everything though.
Yeah, but like
But the scoreline doesn't matter. It's all possession.
And so it just drives me crazy. And this Jamaica game was kind of more of the same.
These are very valid.
We would just mess around.
These are all very valid.
And then
I think there was definitely a mental let off of the players there. And when Mikel Antonio scored that goal, that was a shot to the jaw that the team was not expecting. And this is still a very young U.S. men's national team. We all have to remind ourselves of that. But they do not. You can make a good argument that they don't have the mental fortitude to deal with something like this. This is one of those situations where it's something that, like old school people say, that analytics nerds can't measure how one's composure with your numbers. You can't measure their heart, yada yada, whatever. The U.S. needs to be able to learn to bounce back from hits like that.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that I'm taking the side of the old nerds who hate analytics because I am king analytics on everything usually. But
yeah, and in that whole entire game, like in the second half, we kept going down the left hand side, and like I like Brendan Aronson.
Yep.
He should have been taken off. I didn't think him and Robinson they were pairing well together. They weren't moving well together. And they just kept going down that left side over and over again. It just was not working.
You could see that they do the same thing where Robinson would give it to Aronson, who would then try like a through ball to Robinson, who would keep trying to make the run down near the 18. The problem was Jamaica also saw that, and they just welcomed it and then sat there and waited for it.
It was maddening. So, So yeah, I don't think it was a good result. I do think we're okay.
We're not in a terrible position, but we should be in a better position.
Yeah.
You can also make a solid argument that we should be in a worse position.
Well, the thing is, we should have won that game, and also we should have won that game before we played it.
Yeah, afterwards.
After we should have lost it
Yep.
with some of the decisions that were made during the game and everything like that. We definitely got some help.
How long are we on this episode? Just out of curiosity.
We're right on time, boys.
Yeah, we were right on time.
Good answer. That is a good answer.
But we probably should wrap up because I can talk all night long.
I'm about to say, I feel like we could continue this conversation after the podcast.
That's very true. All right.
Well, we had a lot of discussion tonight. Yo.
That was a lot. I only came here to talk about the MLS playoffs, and then
That's why he wants to get out of here. He's like, I only came on to talk MLS.
I'm enjoying it. I am loving it.
Here we are
very
talking
much.
about the U.S. national team.
I am loving it very much.
We should just have ended the episode at the Ajax Ajax.
I'm gonna go see.
Or we could just clip it to only that and just have that be the entire episode.
That's it. So
either or.
I will share this just because Chris has not gotten a chance to really defend himself on some of the stuff.
Oh,
previously.
Okay.
But he did comment on some of our polls tonight, so I want to share the polls real quick.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
Then we'll call it a night. So some of the polls from tonight's episode. The first one was, should we show the video of the Swift's household, especially with Todd? And the options were yes and God yes. So, of course, that's going to win. So Todd is going to make a special appearance later.
1 second, I need to go vote on all these, especially the God yes. Carry on.
The next one was, who was the biggest surprise of the year in the Western Conference? So actually, Russell, it was the California teams. So LAFC, LA Galaxy, those are the biggest surprises, at least from the Twitter poll.
That's a fair shout.
Who was the biggest surprise in the Eastern Conference? So Swift. Nashville was the number one rated team. And then, of course, did David already say something wrong without knowing it? So that's got the most likes out of everything so far.
And he just got one more.
I just got one more. So, but Mr. Chris is able to share a little bit on some of his comments. So he said, obviously Cincinnati let me down, but really it's Columbus was the biggest surprise in the Eastern Conference. So that was his.
Chris is a smart guy.
Yeah, and then he said for the Western, he said Vancouver's turnaround was his biggest surprise for the Western Conference as well.
Good shout. Not much of a defense of the FC Cincinnati pick, but I'll give you everything else, Chris. Well
he did say Columbus, so I mean that's which I think we all kind of agree with. So
all right.
Well, boys, it was a fun episode. I look forward to more of these as we get ramped up for the kickoff of Charlotte FC in the next 100 days.
That's right.
So we're gonna have to do one like every other week based on all the news that they're dropping.
Every week.
Well, then again, since I'm only here for MLS talk, I guess I'm only going to come up early February, I guess, when we do the season preview. So I'll see y'all then. And God knows how much things will have changed by then.
Well, I will say we're going to give you a quick shout here. So Russell, thank you for always being willing to come up here in Huntersville and give us your insight and expertise. So
Brown knows a little more to Ryan Bailey. I will quote him and what he always says on Total Soccer Show. Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty good. I like that.
That is actually really good. That's a nice send-off.
Yes, I totally came up with that and not anyone else.
Well, do you have a quick update for all the dogs and the cats that everyone just loves to ask you about?
Yes, I can give some updates. The fosters we were taking care of have all found new homes.
Nice.
2 actually ended up going to someone in our neighborhood who regularly sends us photo updates, and that's very exciting. My 2 cats are doing great. One has become much bigger than the other, which we did not see coming. The one that was a foster fail, and we kept because she was the smallest and would not eat any dry food. We kept her, and we were worried that something was wrong with her, and now she's a freaking tiger. And then our dog Penny is doing wonderful, and she, even though it looks like she's 13, she's actually only 6 years old. She's just has so much anxiety that she's a black lab with a lot of white. Yeah. Well, but yeah, please send me all your cat and dog and other pet photo and videos at Varner on Twitter, YAlwaysRV on Instagram.
Nice.
I like it.
Well,
love you guys.
I was told to start looking at dogs yesterday. So if you have any suggestions,
yes.
Okay.
The suggestion is yes.
Yes. Oh, I already know. It's a thing. It's going to happen. I just got to find out what kind. So, but
all of them.
Until next time, y'all. We'll see you soon, and thanks for tuning in.
Go get your Ajax.